Greetings and hello. I wanted to take a moment and discuss the power of the endocrine system and really helping to bring awareness around different systems in our bodies and just how important it is to remember those so that it can maybe give you a little bit of insight into how you might be feeling. So our hormones really do govern a lot. I had this download after having a baby and really feeling the shifts in my body. You know, being 40 and having a baby is really a high impact. But I noticed a lot of different shifts. And so I think with coming into menopause or perimenopause, or whatever stage that you're in, it's really important to remember that hormones can really affect the way that we feel, our weight, our temperature, our energy levels. It can really affect our mood, our desires, our own feelings about our self-worth. So there's a lot to unpack with what I just mentioned here. It kind of covers a lot of different areas, and so I thought it would be helpful to have a video where we talk about that, and so that maybe if anyone hearing this can think, oh my gosh, well maybe that's what's happening to me, instead of going into this whole rabbit hole about, you know, not being good enough or things being really wrong or having all this anxiety about, oh well, why can't I, you know, why am I feeling this way, or you know, really understanding the power of hormones and knowing that hormones do shift and change. And so it's important that we remember with our spiritual practice that there is a phase and there is a season to each and everything, and that is also our hormones. Our bodies are aging every single day. We only get a certain amount of prana or life force or chi, whatever you want to call it. We only get so much to spend in any one given day. And so when we have issues happening with our body, that is going to take a lot of the energy to that thing, whether it's our immune system, whether it's our the adrenals. There's a lot of different things that kind of usurp the energy, and it can make us feel really tired. But our hormones are really going to govern a lot. It's going to govern our irritability, our happiness, our joy, and it's hard to control these things and just say, well, we need to meditate and have a better spiritual practice or do this healing work. It's also very true that we could be having a hormonal imbalance, or even just, you know, a surge, a shift, or change. It doesn't mean that we need to act. We need to go out and do anything, go out, unless it's extreme and it's, you know, consistent and you're really feeling like there could be something majorly wrong. That's not what I'm really talking about here. It's more about really honoring self and loving self and think, oh, okay, you know, I could be having a bad day, and it's just because I am my hormones are shifting and I'm feeling really hot and irritable and frustrated. I'm snapping at people, and you know, we need to give ourselves that compassion that we really do deserve each and every moment of each and every day. If we're putting on some weight, it's like having that self-compassion and not thinking, what's wrong with me, you know. We can be our own worst enemy, you know, and flip it on ourselves, or we have that negative self-talk and we blame ourselves and we always want to punish ourselves, and we want to just see that person in the mirror and just chew them up and focus on every little thing that doesn't look right or doesn't feel right. If we're tired, we're feeling like we want to have a Netflix day and we want to just lay. We need to have that self-compassion and not be judging ourselves and tearing ourselves up, because it does not serve our highest and best good. The judgment and the pressure and the criticism, we already get enough of that in this world. Why would we want to do that to ourselves? We need to really let go of that and be in a place of just utter acceptance, of just this deep, profound love for ourselves. And knowing that we're going to have that ebbs and flows with life, and we're going to have high times, we're going to have low times, and so we need to be the even keel, in our mind, so that we're not riding these waves with our hormones and thinking it's going to be forever, because it's not going to be forever. There's going to be a season for that. Maybe there's a season where you're a little bit heavy. Maybe there's a season where you're a little bit more activated. Maybe there's a season where you're feeling a little bit more down and melancholy. Maybe you're having a season where you're just a little bit more tired and it's harder to get up and get all those things done that you want to do. It doesn't mean you're less than, not good enough, not able, not making it. It just means that you're in a different phase. And hey, if you're 40 or you're 40, 50, 60, our bodies start to slow down, and it's just inevitable. We are aging every single day. There's nothing we can do about that. So what's the best thing to do with things that we can't change is to just let go of the control. We want to control so much, and I understand that. I think coming from trauma, it makes a lot of sense to want to have a false sense of security and feel that we are fully in control of our worlds. But it's an important reminder to remember that we are really in control of very, very little. It's happening and moving and shifting our bodies constantly. Yes, we can be cognizant and aware of our stress levels, our nervous system, doing our breathing work and our massage and eating well and treating our bodies like a temple and being aware to cut the things out that really suck and draw energy from us. Yes, we need to do that. But another piece of it is just letting go and just being present with self, and really just being able to really be in a healthy relationship with self. So a good way to put it is think about being in the best possible relationship that you can be in. Maybe even get out a piece of paper and let's list those qualities of the best. Even if you're in a marriage or partnership, let's not think about that. We're just thinking of, ooh, yay, let's just think about the best, most incredible partner. And if that is your partner, then that's good for you. That's wonderful. But it doesn't necessarily matter if your partner can meet you at this level. It's not about them. It's about you. So can you trust? Are you able to trust them? Are they able to be emotionally vulnerable and present and open and available to you? Are they an active listener? Are they present with you? Are they emotionally vulnerable and open and can have really deep discussions with you about you and care of you? Are they considerate and loving? Do they really take care of your physical body? Do they have the presence to think about you and celebrate you in different ways? And I could go on, but kind of gives you an idea of what to think about. Write all those qualities down of the most perfect partnership. And then think, are you doing that for yourself? And if you're not, then what are ways that you can do that for yourself? And that really helps to start shifting things where you no longer look outside of self for external validation or for others or for the external world to try to meet those needs. You start to shift into a different way of being where you already are taking care of yourself in a whole, holistic, healthy, beautiful manner. And one way is really accepting and honoring and loving and cherishing the deepest inherent parts of you. That's not being more surface level and judging based on appearance, and giving yourself that break. Be that best friend, be that best partner for yourself. And remember, when you're starting to get stressed or feeling anxious, or you're feeling tired, or you're feeling really lethargic, or it's just a different season. We have different seasons of our lifespan. We have times that we build, and sometimes we're not in a building phase. And even if we don't have the life that we perfectly want, and there's things to build, still energy needed to build the life that you want, there needs to be a good, healthy, symbiotic relationship where there's a give and take there, and that there's not so much self-imposed pressure to try to get something that you're exhausting your endocrine system or that you're exhausting your physical body. We need to live harmoniously with all living things, and that includes ourselves. Being in harmony, walking in grace, being, of the light, which means that we really do honor this incredible, amazing, really complicated bodies that I do not think that us humans fully understand. I know the medical system doesn't. There's a lot of different systems but really you are your best practitioner. You understand your body the most, and give yourself some grace the next time that you feel that you're, you know, a little heavy or a little tired or feeling a little hot and sweaty and uncomfortable and irritated. Hey, give yourself a little bit of a break. All we can do is just try to strive to you know, be better, but even that sometimes can shift into that place of really putting high expectations on ourselves, and we just don't need that self-imposed pressure. There's already enough pressures, again, that we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So give yourself a break. Let yourself be, you know, in a really healthy, loving relationship with yourself. And if you're hearing this message, thank you so much for taking the time, and you're doing so awesome. You're doing the work. Give yourself a reminder. Wear a little bracelet, write a little heart on your hand, have a little sign on your mirror as you're getting ready each morning, that you look at that and it's like, oh yeah, I'm walking in acceptance, pure acceptance of me. So anything that comes up, I'm just going to be like, okay, that's what I want. That's how I'm feeling. I'm going to listen to that. If I want a brownie on my way home, I'm going to do that. I'm going to live in balance, and I'm not going to be so restrictive that I'm doing these yo-yo dieting, or so restrictive that I don't let myself just have a day where I listen deeply to my body and just have that Netflix time or whatever it is. Just let's stop being so hard on ourselves and each other, and that's going to help us have more grace with each other as well, so that we're not projecting our whole internal dynamic and paradigm onto other people, where we don't put expectations on other people that comes from us. You know, that pressure on others isn't healthy, and it's not going to be good for our relationships either. So it's a really great place to start with self, and to remember that we're complex, amazing, incredible beings. And lots of times too, I mean, I know that there's a lot of things that are severe. I'm not talking about severe illnesses and things that come up like cancer, or, you know, really deeper issues where something's wrong. I'm just meaning, like, in our day-to-day, I think that we can really set ourselves off with a lot of anxiety or worry. Could there be something wrong? Or having this one symptom a couple times, and it's like going down this whole rabbit hole of feeling scared and anxious and worried, and then it exacerbates that pain, and sometimes it's helpful just to think, could this be just a hormonal shift in me? And if so, let's just be happy and walking in grace, and just know that this is an uncomfortable day, and let's just ride through the wave, and that it's going to go away, as long as we really make sure that we're nourishing our bodies, and we're drinking enough water, and we're taking care of the stress, but really letting go in every moment, letting go of all of the pressures and the things that are hard and heavy. You know, in your gut, that beautiful intuition that you have, you know what's sucking away the energy. And let's take things off our plates. Let's rest. Let's take care and give ourselves a break once in a great while. Okay, well, you have a wonderful day.